It's okay. Now my screen is getting recorded using some other extension. Okay, then I'll share my screen. So everyone must have opened this SolidWorks 2021, right? Yeah. So then, so if you see here, top top left, there are three icons: home and new and open. These three will be visible. Starting now. Can you see home, new and open? Okay. And home is nothing. You will see this page again. But if you click on new, you'll be seeing these three options: part, assembly, and drawing. So part is nothing but a 3D representation of a single design component. It means that you can design only one component at once in this. So assembly is okay. In the assembly, we can assemble different components to make one device, or you can also design multiple components in uh, this assembly. Because in this part, you can design only one part at a time or one design at a time. In the assembly, you can design multiple parts at a time, or you can assemble multiple parts for making one single device. So once this assembly is done, or once your part is ready, so there will be some cases where you require uh, a two-dimensional. So you'll be requiring a two-dimensional layout. The same way for civil engineering, they will give the site plan. So the site plan will be two-dimensional with all the dimensions included. So in the same way for the components also, we can give a two-dimensional layout with the dimensions. So that we can do in drawing. So now we'll just click part and click OK. Okay. So you'll be seeing this kind of screen, and you can change this background from here. So if you click this apply scene effect, you can change to white. So I like using white, so that's why I put it as white. So this one, apply scene, you can click arrow here and you will find the plain white option. And then, so similarly, when we design, we write something on paper, right? In the same way, we require something to write. So we require a plane or we require a paper to write. So there are three papers, that is front paper, top paper, and right paper. Those are three different planes: X, Y, Y, Z, and ZX. Okay, so you can see this is a front plane, top plane, and right plane. In the left screen with complete left. So complete left is where you give all the commands, and this is where you work. So this is called workspace, and this is the uh, क्या बोलते हैं, this is the already performed works will be stored here. So whatever commands you will be giving, so all will be stored in the left side. And top is completely for our tools, whatever tools or functioning we have to use. So everything you can see in the top. Top is for tools, left is for data like history or whatever commands you have used. This is the workspace. Okay, so we require a paper. Let's say if I'm selecting the front plane, so when I click on the front plane, you can see this option called sketch. So front plane, and you can see this option sketch, and same option you can see here. So in the sketch, you can see this option sketch. So if you open sketch, there are three options again. So this is sketch, 3D sketch, 3D sketch on a plane. Okay, so 3D sketch is nothing but, so there will be no particular plane x y z is x y y z z x. So it will be something like you are not restricted in only 2D. You can rotate and connect in 3D also. So for now we'll go to 2D only, and later if you want, I'll discuss the 3D also. So I can click sketch. Since my plane is selected, so it came to direct front plane. Okay. If let's say if my plane is not selected now, okay, so I didn't select any plane, and then if I click sketch here, so it will ask me which plane you want to select, front or top or right. Okay, so in that case I can select the any of the plane, but I choose the front plane. Okay, is it okay till here? So again I'm exiting the sketch, and I can again select the top plane. You can see how slow it is working, right? I think it is same with everyone. Is it slow in all the cases with all of you? Is it slow or fast? So slowly you are making a plane, right? Same like in my screen. So we have a shortcut for this. That is, so this SolidWorks 2021 is a uh, complete software with all the graphics and everything included in this. So you can see all the graphics and everything are running background of the software, but still we are not using them. That is why it is consuming all this memory and making it very slow. So before designing itself, it is this slow, and once we do the designing, then it will stuck a lot. So what I do, I'll close this SolidWorks, okay, and then when I type SolidWorks here again, so I can see this option called SolidWorks RX 2021. This option, second option, SolidWorks RX 2021. So once I open this one, RX 2021, you'll be seeing these two options bottom. And then what we do is just we use this last option, that is bypassing the tools or option settings. So bypassing in the sense, whatever changes we make in the software, it will not recognize or it will not save. So it will be a fresh software all the time. So there will not be any background applications running like rendering or graphics. So whatever page you open, only that page will be working. Backgrounds are a closed design. So that's the reason our SolidWorks will be fast. So this option I am choosing. Click here to launch SolidWorks while bypassing the tools or option settings. Okay. So when you click that, you'll be getting this. Okay. This again same. So you'll not find any difference, but you will see the improved speed efficiency. I'm just selecting the part again. Okay. Okay. So see, in the original SolidWorks, I have changed it to white color, but when I opened here, the background is still again lightish blue. So I'll change this to plain white. So in this, it will not remember everything. The software will not remember everything, whatever changes you do. When you open it, when you close it and open it, again it should be fresh. So I have changed this to plain white. Okay. And if I close it and if I open it again, it will be again it will be again blue. So it will not remember any settings. So it is a caution. See, if you are using this bypassing tool, the speed will be fast, your working speed will be fast, but the software will not remember or will not store any data. So again, if you see, when I open part, so this will be again light blue shading, the background, because it will not remember. Again, I have to give it as plain white. Okay, is it okay or should I repeat anything? Okay, so now if I'm selecting front plane, see the speed. So you can feel this speed. So there is no delay in response. You see, the immediately I'm changing the cursor on front, top, right planes. So it is immediately showing me the response. Whether your system has SSD or not, you should not care. The only thing is you have to just bypass all the tools and option settings. And then you can feel the speed. Okay. Once it is done, again, just it is same. Go to sketch, select any one of the plane, and now you are ready to do your designing. Okay. So we'll start from here. So we'll see all the tools here. So we'll see all the required tools which are mostly required to make the electrode designs or for 3D printing also. Okay. So first is the line. So in the line you can see these three options: line, center line, and midpoint line. Okay. So when I select a line, it's very simple. So if you closely observe something, uh, in the screen you can see a pencil, and as I'm going to the origin, you can see there are two options getting highlighted. One is the orange dot and another is the yellow dot. Yellow is showing the coincidence symbol and orange is showing the connecting point. Is it okay? Because these are very much important for designing this representation. If you miss this representation, then you will be facing problems. Is it okay? Orange dot and yellow. So once I move it from the origin, so there is no yellow and there is no orange dot. So as I'm moving, orange dot and yellow has erased. Is it same with all? Okay. So once you get this dot, it means that you are at a connecting point. So whether it may be origin or it can be a center point. Okay, let's say, and then once I just press and just drag, don't drag, but just press once. So you can just click once, and just move your mouse. You can see a line. Okay, one click and just move, and another click will end the line. So one click for line starting and another click for line ending, and in between is just to rotate, like just to move the mouse. Okay, so you always observe the pencil or whatever representation in your screen. So now the pencil has nothing, no other representations other than except a line symbol. Okay, so closely if you observe, so now it is giving some other symbol called angle. You can observe it is giving some other symbol called angle. Okay, so now it means that it is taking some angle orientation that is closer to 90, 45, yeah, 22.5, the standard angles. So if it is closer to standard angles, then it will give this symbol. Or if you see, when I make it vertical, you can see a yellow highlight. So yellow highlight in vertical line. So that means this is vertical to the origin. And similarly, if it is horizontal completely, then you will see a yellow representation with horizontal line. So these things are very much important for a proper design, because if there is a slight angle, so you might not notice this, but this is not horizontal. So this is spoil your entire designing. Okay. So always remember you follow the pencil very much closely. So the pencil will show everything, whether it's a vertical straight line or a horizontal straight line. Fine. So let's say now I want to make a rectangle with this. So it's very simple. Line. So once I press there, the second button has end, and then press the escape if you want to get out of the line option. So if you see here, so use this roller option to just zoom in, zoom out. Roller option to zoom in, zoom out. And if you press the roller and move your mouse, you can see 360 degrees you can rotate. Roller in and out for zoom in, zoom out. Press the roller and move, then you can see the 360 degrees view, like rotation. And then this option is to fit. Okay, so here you can see the fit option, and then same way here you can see the front. So these views: front, top, right, left, and back, and down, bottom. So all these views you can select. It's very simple. Let's say when you are just doing the 360 views, so if you miss like this and then go here, view orientation, and then you just press the plane which you are, the front plane. So it will come back to its original position, and you can just do this zoom fit. The zoom fit and the orientation of planes. Okay. So if you don't want to use this option regularly, then let's say if it is in this orientation, so always remember to use control and 8. So once you place control plus 8, it will come back to its original position. So similarly, you can use control 7, 6, 5, 4. So all this to just see the views. But if you want to come back to its original position or original orientation, always press control and 8. Okay. So that will be same like this. Okay. Always use press control and 8. Is it okay? Okay. So, okay. So at the bottom, you can see these options. So these options are also very much important. So if you see here, it is underdefined. So please remember this starting basics, because these will help throughout the design. Otherwise, you will get too many problems in the design. So this is underdefined, and you can see units here. So my units are set to millimeter. Check your units, whether they are millimeters or IPS, CGS or MKS. So always prefer keeping mm. Okay, mmgs. And observe here, your sketch is underdefined. So why it is underdefined? Because you have not given any dimensions to it. So let's say now I can just click this point, hold that point and drag. So you can drag. Okay. So I can drag, and if you closely observe, the complete line is black, this point is black, the origin point is black, but the end point is in blue. If you observe on your screen, the end point is in blue, the starting point is in black. So black denotes that it is constrained properly, that is, it is fully constrained, and blue denotes that it is not fully constrained. So that is the reason it will show this underdefined. So the problem in underdefined is, so when you are making an electrode or anything, you will iterate it. So during iterations, you may require only one dimensions need to change all the time. But if the sketch is undefined, when you change one dimension, all the dimensions will get affected. So that is the reason every time your sketch has to be in fully constrained mode. So to do that, you just observe which blue point is like left in the design. So since it's a simple line, it has only 2 points, start point and end point. Start point, since you are connected to the origin, so it is fixed, and it is also showing me this symbol called coincident in green color. Okay, and if you see here, there is no point of coincident or no like limit to this, so it can go up to infinity. And since this is a vertical line, so even if we try to move in the leftward or rightward direction, it will not move because it is constrained in verticality. So you can see there are two constraints in green. One is in coincident, another is vertical. And the only constraint which is left is the length. Okay, so the length is not fixed. So what I do, so here this option is very much important called smart dimension. Click on the smart dimension. Okay, so everything in SolidWorks will be represented underneath the arrow. So let's say now my arrow is empty, so it has nothing at the bottom. Okay, it has just the arrow, simple arrow. But whenever you press any of the icons, it will show you the symbol. Okay, now you are in smart dimension mode. So it is showing that now your arrow or whenever you press something, it will take the bottom side, whatever it will be, whether it's a circle or line or anything. So the arrow will represent us. So now to give the dimension to this, I can select the line simply, or I can select these 2 points. Okay, so once you select these 2 points and click on the screen, you will get this option. So I'll press this as 10 mm. Okay, done. Now if you see, the sketch is fully defined and vertical. Okay, now if you want to move this 5 mm, so it will simply move. So double click on this and you will get options to move. And similarly, if I want to make another line, select this line option. So here, once you're going nearer to that point, you see another option in yellow, like another highlight in yellow. That is represented in concentric option. Okay. So whatever you start, you see these options very closely. So whether it is concentric, coincident, or vertical, horizontal, so these options are very much required. So as I'm going close to it, you can see a orange highlight, that is a contact point. And once I click a line from here, so I can see if it is straight, then highlighted in yellow. And again, if I'm coming down, you can see another highlight in vertical. And then you can see here, that is a coincident plus horizontal. Okay, now this completes the complete. So it is not a square or rectangle because I didn't give the dimension. So for now, we'll assume it as a square. Okay. So when it was a single line, it was fully constrained. Again, it is underdefined because you can see 1, 2, 3. All these three lines are in black color, but only this line is in blue. The reason is So it can move in this direction. When you just click on any of the button or any of the edge point, you can see this. There's a movement. So it is not constrained. That is the reason it is showing as underdefined. So now what to do to get it fully constrained? Any one of you can answer. So now what to do to get out of this underdefined? Okay, dimensions in where? Exactly here or here or where? X-axis. So x-axis because it is moving in x-axis, right? So that is the reason I will give in x-axis. So similarly, I can select the line or I can select these 2 points. I can tell it as 10 mm. Okay. So now if you see all the lines are in black color and I got this option called fully defined. Okay. Fully defined I got. So, so I'll be with a normal arrow, simple arrow. And then if I try to click this button or edge point and try to drag it, so it will not move. And it is showing on the screen that it is constrained in both directions. If you see here, if you observe at the edge point, so it is showing that it is constrained in vertically and horizontally, two lines. So if you closely see, constrained in vertical and horizontal. Okay. If you see any point, it will show you okay. It is also constrained in two directions, vertical and horizontal. Similarly, this point, constrained in two directions. And this is already constrained with origin. And it is also telling that this item is fixed. The selected item is fixed. Okay. So let's say now there are two dimensions in this. So this is a fully defined case. And let's say if I want to change this to 5 mm. See, only my x-axis is moving. So there is no effect on y-axis. Similarly, let's say if I want to make it 100. Okay. So the x-axis has no effect when you change the y-axis. So that is the advantage of this fully defined case. Okay. So let's say I'll make it as 100. So if you want to change the dimension, just double click on the dimension. That's it. Double click, you'll get this window. Okay. So now, let's say if I want to draw a square or circle in this. So to draw a circle in this, so you can select this option called circle here. So in the circle, there are again two options, circle and perimeter circle. So first option will deal with circle. Okay. Circle I can draw it here as a, anywhere or here. But exactly at the center of this square, I want the circle. So I want this circle center should be the center of this circle or this square. So how to do that? So these points are not constraints. That's why they are easy to move. Okay. There is no limit to them. So that's why they are moving. Okay. Now let's say if I want to make this circle to be the center of this. So how? So nothing, very simple. So in the line itself, there are three options, right? One was the line, center line, and midpoint line. So now I will select the option called center line. So center line is nothing, but we call it as a construction line. Okay. So everything is same. It should be vertical. And if you see here, it is highlighting the center point of this line. So these are called as quick snaps. So this will suggest us the center points or any of the points these commands will suggest. So if sometimes we cannot see that, so that is like when you do some changes in your screen or settings, so you will lose this options. You will not see where is the center, whether it's a straight or not. So all the time you can see here option called quick snaps. So sometimes if it is not visible, so you can see these options here. So point snap, center snap, midpoint, intersection, nearest snap. The snap is nothing but the connecting dot or the nearest dot. Okay, now let's say if I want to put this at this center, okay, so I want to know the center of this exactly, where the center is located. So what I do, you can take a straight line, I can connect this, okay, diagonally. And here I've taken the construction line because, so if you are working in 2D design, it's okay. But when you want to move to 3D, then if it is not a construction line, so the solid line will take it as a one section. So let's say I will show the difference. So now this is a construction line. Now if I'm going to 3D, so now I'm not, so I'll slowly explain this 3D also. Okay, so you can see here. So if you see, since there's a construction line here, so it is not taking it as a two different parts. Okay, so similarly, if you have the solid line here, let's say we can make it solid line. So I'm pressing Control 8 again, so it will come back to its original position. So since this is a solid line, so if I go to extrude, so it is asking me now to choose the, like, which needs to be extruded. So I can select this alone, so that only this half can be extruded in this way. Okay, so that's why always try to use the construction line if it is not required for designing. So to do any solid line into construction line, press on the line, you'll see the left window opening, and in the options you'll find for construction. Press on the for construction and okay. You'll be seeing this line option. Okay. Now it's very simple. Wherever you make a circle, so first thing is we have to give the dimension to the circle. So what diameter we want, smart dimension, and let's say I'll give it as a 50. Okay. Now it has one constraint, that if you try to drag or so, it will not increase its length. So if there is no dimension given to this, if you just click and drag, so it can be big and small, like as we do it. But once it is given in dimension, so it will not move. But still it can move its position. So then this can move both position and dimension. Okay. Since here we have given the dimension, So it will constrain to this dimension, and it will not be like big or small, but it can still has this position movement. So it's very simple. Click on this point and drag, and you can see a highlighting point here on this line. So if you slowly move on this line, you can see a yellow highlight, and you can just bring and keep it here. Okay. Is it okay with all? Okay. Now everything is in black, but still you see this underdefined. It's just because of this. Okay. So it is now fully defined sketch. Let's say if I want to just change this 50 to 75. So you see, it has changed its position uniformly and symmetrically within the square block, and it has not affected the dimensions of this square block, since the complete design is fully defined. Okay. So let's say if you want to increase this to 1 or we'll do it as 150. See, it is still constrained in the center itself, since we have constrained it using this diagonal line, so it will be in the center. Okay. So this is the advantage of fully defined. So always keep in mind that whenever you design or whenever you put a line also on the screen, that should have complete constraint. Okay. So now I'll just delete this circle, and there's another circle option called perimeter circle. So perimeter circle is nothing but it requires, so it covers the perimeter of any design or any uh, क्या बोलते हैं, square or any rectangle or anything. It just covers the uh, like, so it starts from the edges and ends at the edges. So let's say here you can see for perimeter circle. So the left side there are two options, 1 2 3, that is three connections, and first is 1 2. So if I select 1 2, so if I'm selecting this edge, and the second point can be somewhere else. Okay. So if I select 1 2, if I'm selecting center, and second point can be here. And 1 2 again, if I'm selecting this, second point can be somewhere. So if you see here again, it is underdefined. Underdefined because it has no constraint. It is constrained with only center point, but not in the dimension. Okay. Just delete it. And the second option is, in the perimeter circle, second option is 1 2 3. That is, it requires three tangent connections. That is 1 2, and let's say if this is 3, so it can come fix inside. So now it has, we have not given any dimension to it, but the dimension of this square will has become the dimension of this circle, because we have given these three tangent connections, 1 2 and 3. Let's say if you want to delete or give dimension to this, it's very simple. You just select this green constraint symbol and just press delete. And you can also press delete and press delete. So now it is free to move again. And if you observe, the sketch is again underdefined. And then simply you can give a smart dimension to this. Okay, but still it is in blue. So what can be the reason? Anyone can. What can be the reason that still it is in blue color, even though we gave the dimension as 50? So what can be the reason? Anyone can. So I have given all the dimensions, but still it is underdefined. No, see the positional dimension I have not given, or the positional constraint I have not given. So to do that, just press this and drag, and you can see you can connect this to any dot. So if you want to be at this edge or this vertex, you can do it, or at this vertex you can do it, or at this. If you want it in the center, since we have already given this construction line, and if you move on the construction line, you will get a highlight point, that is yellow highlight. And once it matches with that yellow highlight, you will see the kind of effect that it is like a magnetic effect, it is getting connected. And you can also see the change in the options beneath the arrow. So now there is no yellow highlights under arrow. Once it touches the line, it will show that there is a coincidence on the line. And as you move towards center point, it will show that, okay, there is a center point and it is coincident to the line. Now if I leave, then you can see it is fully defined again. You can zoom fit, and you can see here at the below left bottom, you can see the option again fully defined. So now again you can just do anything, but it will not affect the other dimensions. Okay till here? Okay till here, or anything should I repeat? Is it same with all? Because if you get any doubt in these dimensions, so please ask me. For designing, these are requirement, these are mandatory. If you don't know the like importance of these symbols, so it will be very difficult during designing. So symbols are always must, and you should have a constant eye on the symbol. You should always see the arrow beneath arrow. So what you have selected and what you are going to connect. Okay. So now it is fully constrained, right? Then you can see this green option. So initially it will be in yellow color when it is under the arrow, and once it is like done with the constraint, it will convert to green. So if you see, there are many green constraints: one, two, three, four, five, six. So these are these are the constraints in short. Okay. So let's say if I'm deleting this constraint, now again it turned to blue, and it is again showing the underdefined. Okay. It means that now it is again ready to move. Even though it is constrained in dimensional, so it is not constrained in position wise. Still it is move. So to answer your question, so just so there are two options you can do. One is, once you have mastered in this, you can just drag and drop at your required point. So simple. Click this point and drag. You can drop at any point. So now for this line, you can drop at the line also. No problem. Again, you can delete this constraint, and again you can drop at the center. You can again delete this, and again you can drag it outside. So this is, once you get customized, like a customer to this using this. But now if you want to go like in a formal way, you can click on this button or this point, and also click on this center point. Press Control, click on this point, and similarly, when you just put your cursor onto this line, you will get a yellow highlight point again. And press Control and press this button or press this point. You can see 2 points highlighted, and in the left side, if you see, you got this options called Add Relations: horizontal, vertical, coincident, and fix. Okay, so we were trying to do this option coincident by just dragging it. So if I coincident, if I give this option, it will just match here. Okay, so without doing everything, I was just dragging and I was just dropping here. Then I can change my dimensions anytime. So that will not affect anything. Okay. So now we have seen two options today. Two, not three options. Smart dimensions, line and circle. Okay. Now we'll go to rectangle. So in the rectangle, you will see all this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 options inside the rectangle. Okay. So underneath the line, option called center rectangle, you will see 5 different options. So here if you see, it has, so if you see this corner rectangle very closely, it is showing 2 points, one at the left corner, bottom left corner, and another point at the top right corner. Two options, two like 2 points, one at the left corner, left bottom corner, and another at the top right corner. So once I select this corner rectangle, the two points which we have seen indicates the start and end point. So if I click a point here and just drag, so I'm not holding the point, I'm just once clicking the point, and it's free to move until unless we give the second point. Okay. If you don't want, then just press escape. and corner rectangle, first point, and then second point. That's it. So this is a corner rectangle, and if you see the second option, that is it has again 2 points. That is one at the center, another is the top right corner. So if I press select, so first click will start from center, and second click will be the top right or bottom right. So if you see the orientation differences, so one started from center and goes to the top right or bottom right, and this started from left bottom and goes to the right top. Okay, so these are very much important because it is like already constrained in one like from center point, because if I move this, so it will always be a center point or center. So once you give the dimension to this, let's say 80 cross 80. So since it has started from center, so it's very easy. Let's say in this case, if you want to make another rectangle inside, so if I'm selecting the center and another dot, I can select a center here and I can start for another. Okay. Or if by mistake you are selecting this corner rectangle, so if you press at the center, so you cannot be in the center. You will be at the like edge or at the left and right bottom or left top, right top, as such. So you can never be in the center. So you'll be like this. Understood the differences? So 2 points. One is corner rectangle, another is center rectangle. Center rectangle starts from center, ends at top or bottom corner, and corner rectangle starts at left bottom corner and ends at top right corner. It's like this. It can start at the corners. So if you want to start something at corner, then you can use this option. So this is I'm starting at the corner. Okay. Similarly, if you want to start something at the center, okay, then change here to center rectangle and you can start at center. Understood the differences in both? Okay. So now I'm just selecting it and I'm deleting all. Okay. So here again you can see, once I click the corner rectangle, I'll get these options here. One is first point at the uh, left bottom and right, so this top right, and this 5 different orientations which we have seen it here. Okay, the same can be seen here. So this is center and top, and this is 1, 2, 3. So you can see first point, second point, and third point representation. So the similar clicks will lead to similar shapes. Let's say if I'm selecting this one, the one, two, third, fourth option, 3 point center rectangle. So 3 point center rectangle means first point at the center, second, third point for closing. Okay. Let's say first point at the center. Okay. And let's say second point at this, and third point can be at somewhere. Understood? This is a 3 point center rectangle. And similarly, if I go to this, let's say if I select again a 3 point, and here you can see here, and here if I see for a parallelogram, 1, 2, 3 points, one at the left corner, two at the right, one at the bottom left corner, two at the bottom right, three at the top right. So if I'm selecting parallelogram, okay, then one at the left, another at the right, and see, you can nicely create a parallelogram. Instead of using the lines to connect, you can use these options to make your design. Okay, so this is a parallelogram again. Okay, I'm deleting this. Okay, now anyone can let me know. Okay, now this is under constraint. If you see, it is under defined. Now how to make this defined? So if somebody can tell this, so I think they understood it very much effectively, how to do the constraints, because without knowing constraints you cannot go forward. So how to make it constraint fully defined? Hmm? Okay, dimensions, let's I'll keep it as 200. I've given the dimensions. Center point, please respond and let me know how to constrain this. So somebody please tell me how to constrain this, except Abhishek, because he knows. So I think Ramya can also answer this. Sanjay, Shraddha, Vanmati, Sonal. Fix it in the sense. This option fix. No, no. If you fix this, the problem is. So let's say I'll show you the problem. Okay. So now it is fixed, right? Now it is fully defined. Okay. This is very, very, very wrong shortcut you are using, because let's say if I want to change my dimensions, then if I want to change one side of this length, then how do you do? Because it is fixed from all the end, like all the edges. So then you'll go again, you'll just unfix it, or I think you cannot unfix it, but you can delete the fix command from here. Okay. So now again it is in this shape. Let's say if I'm giving my constraint in one direction. Let's say if I change to 15, so I can see there will be a difference in this. Or if I'm slightly moving this edge, so you see there's a, so there can be anything can go wrong. So fixing is not a solution. Anything else? Just now I've explained all the required things to constrain this. So today's class we will end after someone telling how to constrain this. Collinear. So collinear, which line? The bottom. Okay, this line and this line with this one. So I'm just pressing Control and selecting both lines. And if I give collinear, then so right now I didn't explain the collinear मतलब where I should use collinear. So whatever I have told till now, only that is sufficient to make constraint to this. Yeah, one is that. Let's say if I want to fix or start from the origin, so I can drag any of the point and just I can attach to this. Okay. So once I have done this, I can see that one line has become black. It means that, okay, we are just started our constraining process. And then angle between, okay, x and y in the sense this and this, or this and this. Okay, so let's say I'll select smart dimension and just giving the angle between this and this as how much? Anything we'll use as 25 degrees. Okay. So now if you see the second line is black, right? Now, okay, so dimensions I can give it here. That is 100, and I can give another dimension here. That's 100. Then, or I can increase this to 200. Then, so that will complicate our design, right? Come on, jaldi bolo. Already we have constrained 3 lines. Only one line is left. What to do there? See, it's very simple logic. Whenever you see black lines, so the affecting line is always the blue line. Okay, you observe कि ये blue line किस direction में move कर रहा है. See, you click any of the point and try to feel that in which direction the blue line is moving. Okay, so once you observe that blue line is moving in this orientation, इसका मीनिंग है कि हमें इसका लाइन हमें कंस्ट्रेंट करना है बिकॉज इट इज मूविंग along this length, right? ये छोटा बड़ा हो रहा है. So it's very simple. Go to smart dimension and give a length here as 200 again, right? It's over. It is fully defined. So angle is simple. So now if you see all the, see one line is black and all the three are easy to move, right? If you select and drag any of the point, you can see this field that it is free to move about the horizontal line. ठीक है. It is free to move along the horizontal line. Now we should get an idea that we should constrain about this horizontal line. So then what I do, I'll constrain this everything with respect to this horizontal line. So I have selected this line and then I have selected this line, any of the line, whether it can be left or whether it can be right. So now if I select this left, then I can give it as a 50 degrees. Okay. So now you see it is fully defined and it will not move. It will not even move from the any of the corners. And let's say if you are changing this 50 degrees to 10 degrees, so you see all the dimensions are same, but only thing is your angle has changed. And let's say if you are keeping it at 70 degrees, see only the orientation is changing, but all the angle, length and width, everything is same. Or if I do it 90 degrees, see it's again back to a rectangle. Achha. So let's say if I'm deleting it again, okay, till here it's fine. And then click on the smart dimension. Okay, underneath the arrow, you will see the symbol called smart dimension below arrow, right? So then it is very simple. So once you come to this line, the line is changed to orange color. Okay, you can see this difference. Okay, when you go on the line, it will be in orange color. Select this. Once you select, it is again blue color. Okay, once just one click, you will see this kind of thing if you move the cursor. Okay, and the second constraint will be to this horizontal. Okay, and if you click these two lines, you'll get this option. Is it okay? Is it okay with all or which one? I didn't get you, Sanjit. Yes, Sanjit. क्या था? So it is not required to always keep at the origin. You must be giving the line from the origin. So now you see. Now if I'm just remove the constraint, everything is there. Okay. So I cannot move. Okay, I cannot change the dimension in the lengthwise or widthwise, but still it is not fixed with the positional wise. So इसके लिए एक position fix नहीं है. Understood? So just to fix its position, because it is like open air or open in the space. So space mein it can move anywhere, because the reason is, so when you're doing multiple designs, so this is just a square or rectangle, so we can easily identify कि अच्छा यहाँ पे change हो रहा है. But when you do a complex design, so there can be chances that at some place the position can slightly move. So if one position is moving slightly, then it will affect the complete design. That is the reason we'll always start, or we'll always put our starting point as origin. Okay, so I can do it again. So I can just bring any of them my design. So it is very simple. Just click on point, hold this point, click, hold, and you can keep to this. Or if I don't want this point, I can put this point, click, hold, drag here, and I can put it this. But we should not leave our design in space. we should constrain it to origin. So if it is constrained with origin, then it is easy to understand the differences. So whenever there is a minor change also, it can be noticed. Now if you see again, we are fully defined. Okay till here, or anyone having any doubt? Okay all? So is it okay from everyone? Okay. So we will end this here, and maybe you can practice this constraint part. Maybe you can take any circle or any one of the rectangle, and you can try to do simple constraints. Just try to do the constraints. That's it. So if you learn the constraints, then you have mastered the design. So only constraints plays an important role. So if you want to identify whether a person has a sufficient knowledge or not, they will you can easily understand by how he is constrained. Okay. So it is very simple. Keep find out the black shape here, black shape in the sense here the blue color, and just try key this blue in which direction he is moving, and identify, go and constrain him. That's it. So with the help of constraint, you can change the design. So now the parallelogram is, can be a trapezoid. Okay, 1 2 days you'll be practicing only constraints. Randomly you take any of the design, leave it in the space. Okay, leave it in the space and try to constrain it. Okay, the foremost rule is constraint should start from origin, and every line should be having a dimension, and then identify the blue line, identify how it is moving, and constrain the movable direction. That's it. Simple things. Okay. And one more noticeable point is, so this is, so if you see here, I'll delete this. So if you see here, everything is constrained, fully defined, but somehow we'll give more dimensions. So just before Sonal was telling us you can give 3 angles, right? So with one angle also I constraint, with 3 angles also I can constrain. So let's say since this is fully defined, if I'm using more constraints, so between this, so you see this error. So make dimension driven. So driven in the sense, if I click OK, so it has no role. So this dimension is effectless. So that's why it is highlighted in gray color. So even if you try to change this, there will be no effect. So that's why keep minimum dimensions, but try to get a fully constrained figure. So simple, try to do all the designs that you can do with circle, rectangle, line, and try to constrain. So only practice constraints. Okay. So maybe we'll end this today here itself. Is it okay? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, madam.